Hello, family. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. Let's talk about it, family. Tiffany did a live video this past Saturday, and her Wi-Fi kept freezing like she connected it to the snow. It took all of 4 hours to get through that 1 hour video, fooling with Tiffany and her raggedy Wi-Fi. Family, I was just too through. And Tiffany was outside at 12:30 a.m. in the morning and 1:30 a.m. in the morning, tricking and deceiving the seniors and the residents of the village and the township by shoveling snow. Who shovels snow at 12:30 a.m. in the morning? Boy, we got to do better. We're going to talk about that. And Demarcus is out here promoting that he's the village real estate investor. What? You can't make this up, family. Y'all already know what we got to do for the ones in the back, because Demarcus is out here saying and promoting that he is the real estate investor of the village. Wow. Wow. Well, anyway, family, here you go. For the
this
ones
video
in the
is
back.
Under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Acts in 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Yes, fair use. All rights and credits go directly to its rightful owner. This video is purely for fair use, opinion, and entertainment. Enjoy. And we also want to add that everything in this video is alleged. Yes.
Yes, that was for the ones in the back. So, let's get to this first, family. Then we'll get to Demarcus. Yes. Now, Tiffany did another campaign video January the 11th, which was a Saturday. And that Wi-Fi just froze more than she was shoveling that frozen snow. Yes, that's why she kept begging for her and her goons to get new internet credit cards. That's what it's giving, because that internet that she had clearly was low quality. See, that Wi-Fi was struggling like hell when she was doing that campaign live speech. Tiffany Wi-Fi was sitting on 1 gigabyte. I'm sorry. Then she had the nerve to put on a couple of her homegirls on this live to let them talk. And then the Wi-Fi went from 1 gigabyte and dropped down to 1 kilobyte. The lowest quality in the internet field. We got to do better. That's why they was out there. She was at that blueberry joint, meeting with the syrup and all that. Then the nighttime, she had the little meeting and she was begging for those new credit cards for the internet. Now we see why. That mess was freezing all over the place. Then had some people thinking that it was their Wi-Fi. That's how bad it was. People was watching Tiffany's live, and then you could see everybody saying, well, I don't think that's my Wi-Fi. I think that's, I don't know, let me refresh. And then the people will refresh it and it's still buffering and sticking and everything else. And then they like, well, I don't think it's my Wi-Fi. Then people had to realize, no, it's not y'all good quality. It's Tiffany raggedy 1 gigabyte Wi-Fi. That's what it was. And that's why she was begging for new credit cards for the internet. Yes. And then Tiffany and her homegirls was on the internet while the internet is struggling. And it's buffering. And it's straining to keep up. I was like, damn, that's the first time I've ever seen the internet sweat. That raggedy internet was tired and weak Tiffany was dealing with. Then Tiffany was sitting in a chair sharp as hell with artificial internet. You can't make this up, family. Was y'all, I'm trying to figure out, Tiffany, was y'all stealing internet from them folks next door? That's what it was given. It was given that y'all was stealing internet from the folks next door because that signal was straight garbage. Yes, it's just a question. Was y'all stealing internet from the folks next door? Because that's what it was given. Tiffany raggedy Wi-Fi had people thinking that they Wi-Fi was jacked up. That's how bad it was. Then you had Tiffany's little homegirl. Yeah, this one right here. Okay, you had Tiffany's little homegirl here that did a little speech. And I'm not even finna play Tiffany mess for real because I just want to point out a couple of things. Because it was all garbage to me. That's my opinion, okay? I got a right to my opinion. But anyway, this chick here, she had the nerve to come up there and, do a little speech and talking about, Tiffany have good receipts and all this. Where they at? Then she had the nerve to say, she looking through papers and saying, yes, everything I'm looking at is not true. She has everything. And I said, wow, it's not true. But if you look at the paper real closely, family, she was just looking at a schedule. What? See, she's starting off suspect already. But this is the woman who's trying to be on Tiffany's ticket. Well, is on Tiffany's ticket. And she wants to be a trustee. But she started off confused. And then we saw, when you look at the video, yeah, go back and look at it, family. When she go to talking how Tiffany has receipts and she's looked through receipts and she's fumbling through papers, you will see she don't have no type of receipts in front of her. Only thing she's looking at is a schedule. But she's trying to play on our top and make it look like she's looking at a whole lot of documents full of receipts. See, that's that game. I don't like nobody playing on our top, lady. We don't like nobody playing on our top, okay? So since you try to play on our top, it's time for us to ride your bumper too. Because see, I was going to let you slide until I saw that you were trying to play on our top. Now, check this out, family. This woman here said this right here. I want y'all to listen to two things she said because we're going to have to school this lady and we're going to have to educate her. Yeah, we're going to have to educate her like her homegirl likes to say. So check out this little piece of thing that she said here. I want y'all to listen to two things she said. Check it out.
The only thing I can tell you is just to fact check everything that you hear and pass it on. If you hear somebody saying things...
Now, remind you, family, you just heard her say it. I just want to remind people to fact check everything. Just a fact check, okay? Fact check. Well, lady, we done already fact check. You late. We done fact check for about 3 years now. Where have you been? We've been fact checking. Tell your homegirl to produce some of those receipts that y'all sitting up there lying about, okay? Now, but my point is, she kept saying fact check. Fact check. So remember that, family, because we're getting ready to fact check this lady, okay? Check it out.
Not true. Ask them the question. Where'd you find this information out? Mm-hmm. Check it out. Because it really isn't true.
Now, she said, fact check it, family. And you just have to ask people, where are you finding this information out at? Well, we finna show her where we find information out at, okay? Now, that was her. Keep listening to her, family.
So I'm hoping, and I'm praying, and I'm pushing, and I'm fighting to get on board. And if I do, it's going to be about the people. It's not going to be about this messiness.
Okay, so she said she'd be trustee. It's going to be about the people. It's not going to be about this messiness. Well, it seemed like you came up there messy, okay, lady, because you clearly was acting like you was looking through receipts, but you really wasn't looking through receipts. You was looking at a schedule. We saw it. And family, I would have screenshot it and showed it to y'all, but I got a lot of topics to talk about today because I want to talk about Demarcus, and I also want to talk about that fire that's going on in LA. And then I also want to just touch on a little bit of another situation that happened in Ohio that remind me of Shankula's case and Mahogany case, okay? But check this out. So this lady here is playing on our top. So she said fact check. Now, I want y'all to listen to one more thing she said, but don't forget that, family, now, because she said to fact check, and then she also said, ask people, where did you find this information out? Because, see, we finna show her some things that she needs to see, okay? Since she's so confused, acting like she confused. She ain't confused. Now, check this out what she said.
Did I get that wrong?
Now, she said, did I get that wrong? I didn't even want to play how she jacked up the Bible's prayer, okay? She said it all backwards, swish-washed it, all that. Just messed it up, okay? How you gonna mess up a quote from the good book, okay? I tell you how she messed it up. Because, see, the higher power don't like people to play with that good book, and you sitting there with the devil, and you done lied to us already by saying that you looking through receipts when you really wasn't looking through receipts, and then after that, you're going to try to quote some words and some phrases out of the good book, and then the good book flipped your ass. That's what happened, family. That's what happened. That's why she said, did I get it right? No, you didn't get it right, and you know you didn't get it right because you don't even pick up the book, because if you did, you would have got it right. So let us know that you was lying about reading the book as well, okay? Yes. Now, listen to her. This is what she said.
So you know what, we have to bring, you know what, we have to bring, you know what, we need to bring prayer and Dalton, because there's
we don't want your prayer.
Demonic spirit
you
over
jacked
Dalton.
it up.
I have never seen anything like this in my life.
Okay, now check out what she said again, family. She said it's some demonic spirits.
Did I get that wrong?
Check it out.
Did I turn it around? So you know what, we have to bring, you know what, we have to bring, you know what, we need to bring prayer and Dalton, because there's a demonic spirit over Dalton. I have never seen anything like this in my life.
Okay, so she said it's a demonic spirit over the village that she has never seen in her life. Okay, so let us school this lady. Let us educate this lady, because there were and there is an evil spirit, demonic spirit, that's running around the village. And the sad part is your ass was sitting right by that demonic spirit, evil person. The hen, sweetheart. You were sitting right by. But since you said that you feel some type of demonic spirit going on in the village, let us school you about why you may feel like that. Okay, because we covered this some months ago, but lady, we got to show you something. Okay, yeah, this is most likely why you feel some evil spirits. Now, family, y'all know I don't have the sound on this, but just check it out. See, this is most likely why you feel some demonic spirit. See that broom standing up by itself there, lady, in the middle of the floor? Tiffany was doing some type of ritual. Okay, down there in the basement of the village. Okay, this was some type of ritual Tiffany had going on, and she had her goons and her flunkies and her followers that, follow. And as you see, you will see Demarcus up in there. You will see old pork chop pastor Williams in there. You will see all of them up in there. Okay, so let's check it out. Okay, let's check it out. Because, see, this is the evil spirits, lady. See, they come in now with the broom, okay? And they was doing some questionable things with a broom, and the broom was standing up by itself in the middle of the floor. Now, we did see this broom standing up. It wasn't in a bucket. It wasn't in nothing. We don't know if they put tape on the bottom of the broom or what. But the point is, this is most likely where you are feeling demonic evil spirits around the village. Your friend there that you see on the screen jumping up and down created the evil spirits by playing and dancing around brooms, okay? And we down here on the Gulf Coast, we do Mardi Gras, we do all that. Louisiana, they have their little ritual things going on and all that. But what we ain't doing is doing some crap around the broom like this. bringing on evil intentions, bringing on evil spirits, bringing on evil behavior, and then got other people joining into it, and then they're acting like they're doing church stuff, but then you see that they start paying homage to the broom. Don't none but witches deal with brooms. Yes. Yes. So, lady, when you tell us that there's an evil spirit, check this video out right here. Yeah, And this video is just for you to watch. Since you trying to play on our top and tell us, look at that. Look at Demarcus. Look at Demarcus. Oh, he getting the energy out of that evil broom that belongs to the hen. Yes, look at Mr. Young. Yes, they all paying homage. This is their initiation. Yeah, look at Tiffany. Oh, she bringing out the spirits. And everybody have to follow that spirit. Look at there. Look at there, lady. Yes. Yes, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Oh, they getting it. Oh, that's your evil spirits, woman. That's your evil spirits right there. You say you feel it all over the village. Most likely where it's coming from. Yes. Because see, why everybody was most likely sleep in the village, or maybe not sleep, they was working or whatever, they was working on throwing dirty evil spirits all through that village and township. And everybody had to do it to pay homage to that hen. Yeah, see? Oh, yeah. So, we just had to school you, lady, because you was sitting right next to the demonic spirit. That's why you was feeling it. If you was really feeling it. But, we're going to go by your word. You said you was feeling the evil demonic spirits in the village. You was sitting right there with it. Your homegirl, Tiffany Henyard. Yeah. So, anyway, now that we done schooled her ass on that right there, let's go ahead on. So don't play in our face no more talking about you feel some evil demonic spirits all over the village. Yeah, your homegirl created it. I just showed you right there. Yeah, it's time for her to come out of there. Yeah, and get rid of those evil spirits hanging around that their village. So, lady, now that we have schooled you, okay? We don't want to hear that shit coming out your mouth no more, all right? Now, it just tripped me out because Tiffany is the one who produced and created that demonic evil spirit that's lurking around the village, like she claimed. Like this lady here claimed. Yeah, all that came from Tiffany and her followers and her goons. Yeah. Ask your homegirl about it. Yeah. Ask her about that. She probably done had you dancing around the broom. How we know? I'm just saying, because we clearly saw that everybody that paid homage to this hen has to dance around a broom. So did you? Because we noticed that when you tried to quote the good book, you fumbled the bag on it. Yeah, trying to play with it. And that's what normally happens when you try to play with the good book. Yeah. So, now, family, Tiffany and her goons went out there shoveling snow. Yes, Tiffany done had her, Demarcus, William Porkchop Moore, and some other chick. They out there shoveling snow at 12:30 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. in the morning. What? That's burglar hours. That's sugar booger hours and activity. Who goes to somebody's house at 12:30 and 1:30 in the morning and walk down the side of their house and go in their driveway and start shoveling snow at 12:30 and 1:30 in the morning, making all that noise while the people inside trying to sleep? I thought y'all said the noise ordinance was at 10 p.m. That's what I thought we heard them tell Jedediah, and then when they was doing a peaceful protest. So why was Tiffany out there shoveling snow, got trucks out there that got red lights going off and red lights just started flickering in people's windows and all that, and then they shoveling snow. Yes. Waking up the neighbors too. I mean, I ain't never seen nothing like it. That you sleep in the bed at about 12:30 in the morning, and here come your mayor in your driveway with trucks shoveling snow, talking about they here to do a good deed. No, y'all ain't. Y'all here and y'all disrespectful deed. That's what it is, a disrespectful deed, not a good deed. Yes. Think about it, family. If your mayor did that, because if our mayor, and I tell you, Tiffany is looking real rough around here. She's looking real rough. But if our mayor came to our house, Tiffany is looking real rough. I'm trying to get through this little sentence I'm trying to say, but damn, she is looking rough as hell. But the thing is, if our mayor went to our residents' houses at 12:30 a.m. and 1:30 a.m., all in our driveway shoveling snow with trucks that got red lights flashing all over the place. What? And our mayor in our driveway doing a social media post trying to show how he doing a good deed. What? We would definitely demand that he or she, our mayor, get stopped and frisked for that sugar booger behavior. Because I'm sorry, that is not normal and it ain't cute. We would demand instantly that our mayor get drug tested. Quick, fast, and hurry. It's no way that our mayor should be on the side of our house shoveling snow at no 12:30, 1:30 a.m. in the morning. What the hell is y'all on? That's unreal. Put it in the chat, family, if y'all mayor done came to y'all house, or do you remember your grandmothers or mothers ever saying that y'all mayor came to y'all house at 12:30 a.m. in the morning or 1:30 a.m. in the morning, went on the side of y'all house or went on the side of y'all complex or wherever and started shoveling snow with some goons making a hell of a lot of noise. What? That is not a good deed. That's mad disrespectful and inconsiderate to the neighbors and to the household yard that they in. The most trifling part is that neighborhood that Tiffany so-called said she was shoveling snow for the seniors and the veterans and all that. You know, the crazy part is that looked like the same neighborhood that Tiffany, mom, and her live at. Yeah, it looked like the same neighborhood that Jedediah and the other peaceful protesters was standing there talking back and forth to Kamal. It don't look like her mother's driveway because I looked and my team looked. The house next to her mother's house got a little white picket fence in the back of their yard. And this here driveway that Tiffany was doing didn't have that white picket fence. So that means that that wasn't right at her mother's yard. That's what we was checking out. But it do look like the neighborhood. If you look at Jedediah's video where he was doing the peaceful protest and they kind of moved the camera around side to side, you could see that that looks like the same neighborhood that Tiffany so-called herself shoveling snow. So she really wasn't doing a good deed. What she was doing was something for her and her mom's neighborhood, or to make it easier for her and her mom to get around and the neighbors. And it's given to me, my opinion, that remember when they was doing the peaceful protest outside of Tiffany's house, that it was a couple of residents that came out to say something on like behalf of Tiffany. Okay. And I'm wondering, are those the driveways that Tiffany did because Tiffany heard them while her and Kamal and Demarcus were out there, and Kamal and Jedediah was going back and forth, and Tiffany could hear some neighbors, saying some things on her behalf. I'm thinking that those are most likely the people she did their driveway, a way of saying thank you for having my back or saying something to them while they was out here. Because that does look like the same neighborhood Tiffany and her mother lives in. So really, she didn't do a damn thing for the seniors. She did it for her own ass. I believe those are people yards that spoke up for her. She did probably about 2 or 3 of them. But the point is, who do that at 12 a.m. in the morning? 1:30 a.m. in the morning. That is real suspect. Yes, that is real suspect. I'm sorry. Y'all call it what you want to call it. If y'all are asleep, 12:30, 1:30 in the morning, and somebody come on the side of y'all house, and it's supposed to be a government official, your mayor or your senator or your governor, something like that, on the side of your house shoveling snow, why y'all come here this type of night? And then you got some goons with you. I don't know who they are. It's very suspect behavior. It's desperate behavior, but it's also suspect behavior. Yes, it is. So that neighborhood looked like Tiffany's and her mother's neighborhood. See how Tiffany played on everybody's top on social media? Yeah. Go back and look at her video and notice how close Tiffany kept this video. She kept it close up to her where you really couldn't see the neighborhood. She made sure that if she did turn 2 or 3 times, she'll just flick it to the snow and flick it back to her. Every once in a while, you got a glimpse of a couple of houses, and that's when me and my team realized those houses looked like the same houses that was in the video when they was doing the peaceful protests. That's why Tiffany kept that camera dead on her. She didn't give it no room. You know how Tiffany normally does when she's doing the food boxes and she's doing, some type of giveaway and all that. She have it to where you have a wide range to see. Except for this video. She kept it close where you can't really see what's behind her. You can't really tell what the houses look like. You can't really know. Only thing she wanted you to see was her and the snow because she knew she was lying. She wasn't just around. That was, most likely, it looked like her and her mom's neighborhood. They street. And Tiffany playing on people's top. That's why I'm not playing this trifling ass video, because you was trying to play on folks' top, Tiffany. You deliberately, savagely played on people's top by lying. That's why she kept that camera so close to her. She didn't want y'all to see the surroundings, because people would have realized, yeah, that is the block her mom and her stay on. Tiffany had her face dead in that camera. Didn't give nobody no room. But since you had that thing so close to your face, Tiffany, I noticed that her eyes are glassy. Her eyes are buck. And she got suspect behavior. Of course it's suspect behavior. 12:30 in the morning and 1:30 in the morning shoveling snow is suspect behavior, period. I don't care who you are. Okay? But the point is, we noticed that her eyes was buck. Her eyes was glassy. It didn't have nothing to do with the weather, because we have seen plenty other videos when it was in the summertime, springtime, that Tiffany has this same look. Glassy eyes, bucked eyes, mouth twisting to the side, hitting that water bottle. What's in that water bottle? Yes, it just looks real suspect. And when I saw this video, I kept saying, damn, it's just something that just doesn't look right Okay? And with that behavior at 1:30 in the morning, 12:30 in the morning, it definitely calls for concern and alarm. Yes, it did. Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah. Tiffany is looking like this all the time. And it's like the eyes are puffy up under the bottom, like the eyelids at the bottom, and her eyes is wide, and she's like all energetic and giving Geek Squad and all that. That's just my opinion. Okay? But it's suspect behavior. And when I saw that, I said, well, why would a person eyes be so glassy like that? It ain't had nothing to do with no weather. She looked like that when it's hot. Okay? She looked like that inside of a building. Okay? Matter of fact, it was some times when she did that live video, campaign video Saturday. It was some times she was the same way, acting like she was dehydrated. She kept grabbing that water bottle, and then she would drink it and say, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And she'll start drinking, and then she'll put it down, and she do that at meetings too. Like her mouth is dry, dehydrated, something's not going on, eyes glassy and all that. But I just looked at it, not saying that this is what's going on. I just look for things to say, why is that person looking like that? And it says, when a person's eyes appear glassy, big, and look funny, it's usually indicates that they might be intoxicated from alcohol or drugs, experiencing a strong allergy reaction. Could be allergy reaction. Several severely hydrated. Okay, and I noticed she drank that water a lot, or possibly have a medical condition like thyroids and eyes. And Wendy Williams had that. She really did, and she was telling everybody about that, But they do say that if you see these type of signs, it's best to consult a medical professional, okay, if you are concerned. So my thing is, I ride Tiffany bumper, but I don't want her to fall the hell out nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But looking at the activities and stuff that snow day, and she kept that camera in her face because she didn't want people to see her surroundings for real, because she really knew where she was at. Most likely it looked like to us it was the block that her and her mom stay on. But the thing is, she had it in her face so hard till it just looked alarming. And for it to be 12:30 and 1:30 at night is also very alarming. So, hey, Tiffany, if it's not the above things that's going on, it could be this, and you might want to go holler at a doctor. Like I said, I ride your bumper all day, but I also still tell people to take care of themselves and get yourself checked out if it's not the first of the above. Okay? Yes, that's all I got to say about that right there. But Tiffany looked at just too through. She really did. I'm sorry. She just did. And a mayor and a city official or any person should not be coming to nobody's house at 12:30 and 1:30. I don't give a damn how bad they want to be elected, this, that, and all that. Yeah, that's all good. Start that in the morning. But they should not be in anybody's driveway shoveling snow with their goons at 12:30 and 1:30 in the morning. Something is seriously wrong. That's giving unhinged behavior to me. It's not normal behavior for a mayor or anybody else, which will make people question, look at this, which will make people question and go back to the fact that the village is missing a hell of a lot of receipts. They're missing a hell of a lot of money. And don't nobody know where it's all at but Tiffany. And you see it right there. Conflict of interest. Okay? Hiring and firing without approval and using the the village checkbook like an open credit card. Yeah. And that was Lansing Journal had did that report, and you see 2022. Yeah, as you see, 2022, that report was done. But I'm just saying, you'll see right here, it says the warrant list or the bills have been submitted to the board for the month of March. This was in 2022. What we estimate to be $2 million of spending. That information and those bills have been paid without proper approval of the board, House said, adding that April's bills had not yet been submitted either. So Tiffany was just running through money, which explains why now we, like we said in the last video that we heard, that now the village is negative 5 point something million in the hole. And it looks like Tiffany is working on that township as well. But they can't get receipts either. But my thing is, when you see somebody out shoveling snow that type of morning, I don't give a damn what type of occupation they have, or they campaigning and they trying to win something. That's just totally alarming to see somebody do that. And so you have to question, do they have any type of habit? It's just a question. I mean, all you have to do is answer. They have any type of toxic habit, because at one time it was said on the curve that Tiffany was spending about two grand a day. Why? Allegedly. Yes. So, anyway, let's get to Demarcus. Yes. Let's get to Demarcus. Oh, and I wanted to show this right here part too, because in this article it had down here, unfortunately, it has down here, y'all will see, unfortunately, the court costs will be a better benefit versus letting this administration use our checkbook like an open credit card, House said, in support of legal action. So, see, Tiffany is going through these folks' money bad, okay? Now, let's get to Demarcus. Yes, let's get to Demarcus and the hen. Yeah, because, see, Demarcus said that he's the village real estate investor. What? That's Tiffany's running buddy, her homeboy. So, family, let's do some house shopping. Since he said that he's an investor, let's do a little house shopping, and see what Mr. Krigley and Grigley, a.k.a. Grigley, is talking about. Yes. So, y'all know we talked about this right here, that he had his little LLC, real estate company and properties and all that kind of stuff right there, right? Okay, now, this is him talking about how, hold on, family. Hold on one. Okay, family. I'm sorry about that. Had a delivery, and then my dog started going barking all over the place. But anyway, so here you got Demarcus, right? Now, he says that he is an investor. Mark Express investor of the village, okay? Now, that's what he said. Now, he's been promoting that he's a real estate investor in the village, in Chicago, in Markham, Illinois, and Riverdale, Illinois. How interesting. Yes. So, let's check it out, family. I got my thing all off base here. Okay, so let's check it out, family. Because this is what he says. Okay. He says Demarcus Krigley is a real estate investor at Mark Express Investors, based out of Dalton, Illinois. My name is Demarcus Krigley. I am primarily an investor based. Okay. So, all this is public records, okay? Yes, it is. All this is public records. So let's make sure that we know that. Yeah, let's get that right. That all this is public records. Let me get this right, family. Y'all can read it while I get it right. Okay. Now, it says, list of the top real estate investors in Illinois. So he is listed as one of the top real estate investors in Illinois. Okay. It says Demarcus Krigley, Marks Express Investors. I am proudly an investor based out of the Village, family. Yes, yes, okay. And then you will see right here, he also says that my name is Demarcus Krigley. I am primarily a investor based out of the Village area. I am looking to connect with buyers. Make sure to friend me and like my connected investor. I am a wholesaler out of Illinois with ton of property. With what, family? What do we have down there for his bio? With ton of properties. How did Demarcus get tons of properties? Yeah. And y'all see that he says that he targets his investments in Chicago, in Dalton, in Markham, and in Riverdale. Yes, family. Yes. So, see, we just going house hunting because, see, now Demarcus is the one said that he is the one to go to, right? So, we just coming. We just want to see, we going house hunting just in case somebody in the Knowledge family wants to get a house. I mean, this is public records, okay? So we got a right to go house hunting if we want to. Yeah. And it's on the public records that he is the man. And he got tons of property. Yes. In all areas. Riverdale, Calumet City, the Village. Yes. Okay. Now, so we read his bio, and it was something else. Down at the bottom when it says, I am looking to connect with buyers. Make sure to friend me. Yeah, But I just wanted to let y'all see that. And y'all see that Mr. Krigley says that he is part of Marks Express Investors. Yeah, he is. Now, he also said that he does private lending. Okay? Yes. And private lending is a market of private, non-bank lenders. Okay? So what is private, non-bank lenders, family? Private, non-bank lenders, family, is this. Okay? Hope y'all can see that. Okay? Private non-bank lenders, also known as non-bank lenders or non-banking financial institutes, NBFIs, are financial institutes that offer loans and other financial service outside of the traditional banking system. Okay, so the NBFIs offer specialized lending products and financial service to borrowers who may not meet the strict criteria of a traditional bank. They can offer a service such as loans, credit facilities, currency exchange, retirement planning. See, this is why I kind of stop at, because Tiffany and her goons, and Demarcus is one of her goons, they love to deal with seniors. And in this non-banking lenders thing, they will, deal with you with your retirement as well. But anyway, this is what Demarcus say you do, okay, family? So don't y'all get mad at me, okay? I'm just showing y'all. Yeah, because we going house hunting. We just trying to see who we gonna who we have to deal with to buy some of these houses, these tons of houses that Demarcus says he deal with, that he has tons of property over there in the village and stuff like that. So we going house hunting because maybe somebody from the Knowledge family wants to purchase a house one day in the future. We know who to go to. But anyway, so they deal with the retirement planning, money marketing, underwriting, and merge activities. But it's just like basically if you don't, like maybe you can't get a loan from a bank, that they will loan with you, or they will loan you some things, or they, but you got to come up off something of yours. You see what I'm saying? And then if that don't work out, they get to take yours and theirs back. Okay? And basically, this summed it up at the bottom. It's basically a pawn shop, okay? Point blank, period, okay? Yeah, so everybody, I don't know if y'all have pawned something at the pawn shop on hard times, maybe not even hard times. You just want to get rid of it, and you ain't got no more use for it, and you just want to pawn it and get some money out of it. That's basically what it is, okay? You got to give something to get something, basically. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So, and he also, it says PN Software. See, all the motivated sellers in your market find discounted real estate not listed on the MLS. Okay, then. Okay, but that's Demarcus. Yeah, so Demarcus is coming up there. Yes, he is coming up. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So y'all will see that he said, looking for deals in Dalton, Chicago, Markham. And he also does Riverdale, Calumet City, and all that stuff too. So, it just trips me out here that, because see, Tiffany and her goons cannot be trusted. And he part of her goons. But I'm quite sure that the Alphabet Boys already done looked into all these here properties and all that stuff, dealing in investment and all that stuff. But like I said, people say, oh, Tiffany caters to the seniors because they the one that vote. Could be. But they also the ones that got retirement plans too. Yeah. I'm just saying, I got a right to my opinion, okay? Yes. But anyway, this is what he said now. He always have up there Marcus Krigley. Mark Express Investors, okay? And I said, okay, so what is Mark Express Investors? This is all public records in case you want to get a house, And it says Mark Express Investors is a real estate company with one CI user. This company has been part of Connected Investors since 11/20/2019. Mark Express Investors has interest in Dalton, Illinois. They have interest in that. Connect with the employees and team members of Mark Express Investors on Connected Investors. And that's Mr. Demarcus. Yeah, because see, he big bad wolf. He takes over that area. And if you don't want to act right, most likely, because I'm just giving the type of behavior he showed us out there with peaceful protesters. That they tend to want to bully people. Because Kamal said, what we do to people like you. And Jedediah said, what's that? He said, smile. Yeah, so, wow. Okay. Yes. And Demarcus also, just like his homeboy Kamal, got a lot of AKAs as well, He'll go by Grizzly, as y'all see, and he'll go by Crisley, as you see. But I did notice that there's about 4 Krigleys that start with these D's other than Demarcus AKAs, but they all sound just alike. They all sound like twin names. Why is that? And then it's given that all four of these people are most likely or could be the same person. And then it links back to Demarcus currently. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? It's wow, And so he just like his homeboy. And these two right here, not only do he goes by Demarcus Krigley, and then you got one that Grizzly, then that's with a G, then Quisley with a Q, then Crisley with a C, and then this is kind of what I'm talking about, that it leaks to the same person almost, but then it say that they are different ages. But then when you look at these different ages and the people who supposed to be these different ages, it links back to Demarcus Krigley. I'm just saying. Well, hey, we talk about buying a house. And I just wanted to know who we will be able to buy a house from. And shit, we looking for Demarcus to sell us a house, and then we looking for Krigley to sell us the house, and then a Grizzly come up, and then a Quigley come up. Which one of y'all is we getting the house from? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, this is Demarcus. Yes, and we did notice that Demarcus, he has came up. Now Demarcus has a lot of houses for sale, or he got them on market, or he's tied up to, like an address ending over there in the village, an address ending in 34, then an address ending in 21, then an address ending in 10, then an address ending in 44. But it's a hell of a lot of addresses connected to Demarcus in the 60419 zip code, okay? There's a hell of a lot more. I'm just not going through it, okay? But because we was trying to see if we could purchase one of those houses, but it's just so confusing. Yes, why is that? Yes. And all up in there in Calumet City, too, in the area of 60409 zip code. Demarcus, he booming now. He booming. But I do smell a whole lot of stank. I don't know where, but I smell a whole lot of stank. Then you will see that I kept saying, well, where is Demarcus employed at instead of him so-called being this big-time investor for the village, okay? And then I said, was he ever, because you remember he told Miss Alicia at the last meeting when she said, you work for the township, right? He said, no, I don't work for the township. But he didn't say he didn't work for the village, okay? So then we got to looking to see, do he still work for the village? Not sure if he does or not, but it do look like he remains somewhat connected to the village payroll and probably, most likely, the township payroll, allegedly. Okay, now, but you'll see there it says Henyard ally Demarcus Krigley, Grigley, and Quigley. Yeah, it's all three of them. But anyway, who was formerly employed by the village. So they say he was formerly employed by the village, okay? That's the only part I wanted to see right there. And then we looked and we saw, yeah, he has been on the Village of Dalton salaries, okay? I did not put the salaries up there. No, they can't do that, okay? But it does say, public records, that Demarcus Krigley was getting government paycheck around 2023. Yeah, and not only him, his homeboy. So all of them was getting government salaries. Yeah, right there. Demarcus Krigley, William Moore. Yeah, all Tiffany goons, okay? There you go, Demarcus Krigley. Yes. And then you had the Stacy. Where is Stacy anyway? Have anybody seen Stacy Carell? Have anybody seen the man with the cowboy hat the cowboy hat, and he is doing all this here videos and all that with a cowboy hat on with no horse. Can y'all tell me where is he at? Because he been missing in action. Did he jump ship? Did he jump ship? I don't know. We ain't seen him though. And then you got your Kimberly Austin. Yeah, you remember when Miss Belcher was saying something about the bills that's supposed to have been paid? Yes. And then it says that it was a DPR Homes that it had down there, but then the check supposed to be cut to Kim Austin for $1,000, saying that they had work done on this particular house, but it wasn't no permits pulled for that house, but they asking for $1,000, excuse me, family. She asking for $1,000 reimbursement from the village. Yes, yes, Then you got Andrew Holmes. Yeah, all of Tiffany homies. Yeah, all of Tiffany Henyard's homies. Yes. Now, I did notice that you see here, it do have DPR Homes, okay? DPR Homes, all this is public records, okay? It says Board of Trustees meeting July 17th, 2023. The DPR Homes was on their list to be paid too. And guess how much they wanted then, family? It's the same thing, $1,000. So was that check supposed to be cut to Kim Austin too? Because Kiana clearly said that the bill had down there DPR Homes, but the check's allegedly supposed to be cut to the Kim Austin. Okay? Yes. And then, you see there, DPR Homes LLC acquires that address. So, DPR Homes has a lot of homes in the village area. Yes, they have a whole lot of homes. Nice homes too. Yes. See there? They got a whole lot of nice homes over there. Yes, they do. And then you will see where the DPR Homes, hold on. Yeah, I can't see that. Okay, then y'all will see where the DPR Homes currently owner's name, DPR Homes LLC, previously owner. Then this is the house that they own, and then they were saying something about they were trying to sell that house. They got some nice homes though, but like I said, we're just going house shopping just in case we want to buy some homes, you know. Then they got DPR Homes. They have that home right there on the market. Yes, and they sold it though to the 10 Pines Home LLC. They purchased this right here for $82,000. I'm talking about, but the thing is, it's a lot of these houses that's they are getting, say, like $100,000 homes, $200,000. Now this is what it's giving, family. Like $200,000 homes, and all that, but they can purchase them for about $8,000. You know, no more than $10,000. You can purchase like a $200,000 home, and the thing is, those homes is not listed as foreclosures homes. They not listed, you know. Yeah, you can get some foreclosure homes kind of cheap. Nah, these ain't listed as foreclosures. Anyway, then, so when they said that the DPR Homes was dealing with a house sale with 10 Pine Homes LLC, then we saw that the village also had that on their agenda one time for 10 Pines Home LLC. They was also asking for $1,000 check. $1,000 check as well. Just like DPR Homes asked for $1,000 check from the board, the village board, the trustees. The 10 Pine Homes also asked for $1,000 checks too. So I don't know if they got the permit pulled. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm just saying it appears on the Village of Dothan agenda to be paid. And that was the meeting February the 5th, 2024. That they wanted $1,000 to. And so did the DPR Homes, because we heard Miss Belcher say that. Then I said, well, who is DPR Homes? It's a real estate company that owns homes in Dothan, Illinois. One of their properties is located at such and such, such and such. So we're just trying to buy homes, or we want to look at some homes and all that good stuff, okay? Yes, but that's who DPR Homes is. That was on the village agenda, that they wanted $1,000 to be reimbursed to them, and then allegedly the check is supposed to go to Kim Austin, okay? So they said they wanted to hold off on that until they look more into it, because they noticed that that property didn't pull any permits to do any work on that property. Yeah, but that's DPR Homes. Yeah, so there you go. There you go right there, family. So, wow. So, I just smell stank covered around these three right here. Yes, like we always do. And what was Demarcus' job title when he was getting these government checks from the village? What was his job title? Can anybody tell me in the chat if y'all know what was his job title at the village? Because I really never know. He's just like Kamal. Kamal is getting checks from the township saying youth program, but he's never gave us any type of report pertaining the youth program. So what does Demarcus Crinley do as well? If you want to question Kamal, you got to question Krigley. What do he do? Is he labeled as security? Security detail? What is he labeled at? What was his job position at the village? And is Tiffany, now that the village basically done run out of money, Krigley is still following up behind Tiffany at the township, the village, everywhere else. So is she cutting him a check from the township now that the village has ran out of money? Just a question. Yes. Yes, it's just a question. What's really going on? Yeah. But anyway, that's what I want to tell y'all about that. And then y'all will see here, I want to talk about this right here, about that eviction, because it's, it was said in this article that it was settled. As you see, well, they right on the verge of settlement. And it says that the eviction case to amend at Mayor Tiffany Henyard close to settlement. So they close to settlement. Yes, and you'll see right here, it says that the attorneys in the Dothan eviction case that targets Mayor Tiffany Henyard told a judge Tuesday they are very close to a settlement, but that access to the property is still a stickling point. Okay? Now, my thing is right there when they said they are close to settlement, but Janetta having access to the house is still basically a problem. Okay? And inside this article, you would see that Miss Janetta accepted some checks from, I guess, Tiffany and Kamal, allegedly, right? So my thing is, why accept the check until you can demand access to the home? It's just a question. It's just a question, because before I took that check, I would have said, hey, before I take this check, let me go inside my home. Let me take some pictures of my home. Let me make sure my home inside is okay. I cannot accept no money from y'all and still cannot have access to my home, because it says right here that they are close to a settlement, but she still has restrictions to the home. That's like it's still a problem. But anyway, it says during the hearing at the Markham courthouse with participants taking part in Zoom, Max Solomon, Henyard's attorney, told Cook County Judge Carrie Hamilton he is withdrawing a previous motion asking to be cut loose from the case. So whatever he's dealing with Tiffany is something else, not the eviction, but he said he want to be let go of a previous case. He don't want to deal with it. Okay? Wow. And it says Solomon did not say why he was reversing his stance. And Hamilton allowed him to remain on as Tiffany's lawyer. Okay? So it says the attorney motion to withdraw filed January the 2nd. So he asked to pull out of Tiffany stuff. He don't want to be a lawyer no more. And he asked to withdraw on January the 2nd. Okay? But he did not state a particular reason for pulling out other than it is his wish and decision. Okay? Then you'll see here, it says the eviction lawsuit will come back before Hamilton on January the 14th. Solomon and J-Man, that's the attorney for Janetta Hall, said they are close to a settlement and most of the back rent owed by Henyard and another tenant, Kamal Woods, has been paid. Has been paid. So they have paid her. Yep. And it says Solomon said a check for this month's rent is due to be turned over to Hull, Janetta, or her attorney on Friday. So they settled it. But the thing is, now that they have took the money, I just can't understand how you take the money and you have not been able to stand in that house, take some pictures to make sure that house is okay, not destroyed, ain't no fixtures gone, that let me see if I have to spend a hell of a lot of money fixing my house. Let me see if my house is still the way it was when I rented it to you. Let me see if it's still that way before I accept this money. Because if not, once I accept this money, I'm on my own and I really can't do nothing to y'all right now about how my property look if it's destroyed. And if it's destroyed, now I got to go through a whole nother damn process in court to try to sue y'all for the damages of my home. But it says there that it was settled that Kamal and Tiffany paid all the back rent owed by Henyard and Kamal. And the only thing they owe now is the rent for this month. Yes. And they'll be back in court January the 14th. So, I guess I won't be reporting on that one anymore about the house or nothing like that because, Miss Janetta, she got what she wanted. Everybody, a whole bunch of people made awareness and it caused worldwide attention about Tiffany holding this lady house hostage and the lady wasn't able to go into her own house, that Tiffany was changing locks on the lady, and the lady is the landlord, but Tiffany basically was deboing the lady house. Well, now Tiffany has paid up, and her and Janetta are coming to some type of agreement, some type of settlement, and the only thing Tiffany owes is this month's rent. So it's really nothing now. But the thing is, once Tiffany pay this month rent, or will she pay this month rent? Once somebody has bitten you in the boom like that one time, there's no way I could accept nothing they got. No. I tell you what, you still has to go. You have to go. Yeah, I'll accept the back rent once I'm able to get into my home. If I'm not able to get into my home, then baby, we still have a big fight to go. You know, and I guess maybe she didn't want to lose her home, so that's why she took the money, and maybe she's taking the money to pay on what she owed for the house. You just never know, you know. But the thing is, that right there is over with. Yeah, and he asked to withdraw. So now I just want to talk about this too, the LA fires, before I close up out of here. Because this is very devastating. As you see, the LA wildfires are just nonstop. They get it contained, and the next thing you know, it flares back up or whatever. So I just want to take this time to say our heart goes out to the people in LA and all over California. You know, and LA fires are devastating, you know, and it's like burning nonstop in different areas, and more than 100,000 people have been evacuated. Most likely lost everything they had, and they reported that 16 people are missing. Then in some reports they say 16 people are no longer here, but you know, they are saying missing at some times and things like that. But the air quality is declining. Most of the fire hydrants didn't have water in it. What? And they're getting help from different areas and things like that. Different firefighters from different areas is coming in to try to help them. And so our hearts just goes out to the firefighters. I mean, they trying. And the ones who drive the airplanes, who dropping the water and things down on these fires. I mean, unbelievable. And shout out to the people. Our hearts go to them. Our prayers go to them as well, who lost their houses and have to evacuate and things like that, you know. I know the rich people most likely will be okay because they got like 2-3 homes that they could go to in different states, you know. They own like 2-3 homes in LA. They own a home in LA. They own one in New York. Then they own one in Florida. So, you know, they have somewhere to go. But those everyday, hard-working class citizens and their families who are losing everything with nowhere to go, and the majority of them will most likely be displaced, homeless, and things like that until they can get assistance from the government or local agencies, because they say some of the insurance people have just pulled out, jetted, you know. And my heart goes out to them because we went through the same thing with Hurricane Katrina. And for the new people with the knowledge family who didn't know, the old ones did know that I was a victim of Hurricane Katrina, me and my family and things like that. It was totally bad. So they're saying that about 100,000 people so far has been evacuated. And then you'll see right here, because they got right here why some fire hydrants in LA had no water to fight the fires. Can y'all imagine a firefighter, you know, running up trying to put out a fire, and they hook the hose to the fire hydrant, and nothing comes out? It's just dry. What? You know? And you'll see right there, international crews arrived to battle raging. So there's different firefighters from different areas coming in to try to help combat the fire. But then they saying a lot of the fire hydrants, the majority of the fire hydrants don't have water in it. So can you imagine a firefighter coming from another state to come help out, and they jump on the truck with the firefighters, and then they get there and get ready to hook up the hose to the fire hydrant, and nothing comes out? Can you imagine what that firefighter mean? Like, man, I came all the way down here to help y'all, and y'all ain't got no water? Man, y'all putting me in danger. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It really is. And then it says right here that the lady who was making $750,000 a year she's over the water. Janice knew about empty fire hydrants months before the fire. So it's just sad. It's a lot of people they're gonna talk to. This lady here is the fire chief right here. And she said that the mayor had cut funds to the fire department and they had to close some fire departments down. A while back, she had been, cutting up and talking about this ain't right. Don't cut our funds because we need it. California is always combating forest fires and things like that, but they cut it anyway, cut the funding. So then, some firefighters and stuff they had to lay off. And on top of that, some of the water that's supposed to be in the fire hydrants wasn't in the fire hydrants. So this lady here is very, very upset with the mayor as well, and basically with the state, okay? Then you'll see outraged LA residents called for immediate recall of Mayor Karen Bass in new petition. So that's their mayor. And then they were saying while California was burning, allegedly, she was over there in Ghana going to some type of inauguration or something that they was having over there. And she was over there in Ghana while her towns was burning up. Wow. So it's going to be a lot of flack about this, And y'all will see right there, say at least 10, that done moved to 16. That's, they saying deceased, but then I heard the governor and all them was saying they're missing. So you just never know. But I do understand and I feel they pain because we went through it with Hurricane Katrina. Now they're saying that about 100,000 people in LA had to evacuate and all. In Katrina, it was 1.5 million people in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama who was displaced. And I was one of them. I wasn't displaced, but I lost everything we had. Okay? And it took me about 6 years to replace everything and all the properties that I had lost. And when I look at California, it does remind me of Katrina. My heart goes out to these people. And as y'all see, I want to tell y'all this because I was hearing some things that, they're kind of questionable. But you'll see that Katrina, the people, it was 1.5 people displaced. Evacuees, around 1.5 million people aged 16 and over evacuated their homes. We was one of them, okay? It says returned rate. About 40% of the evacuees, most likely from Louisiana, did not return home. That's true. Relocation. 25% of evacuees moved within 10 miles of their previous county. 25% moved at least 450 miles away from their county. And 10% moved at least 830 miles away from their house. And they were sending Katrina victims to New York, to Texas, to Atlanta, sending them everywhere. And me, my family, my team, we said, nah, we're going to hang in here, but we're going to rebuild and rebuild better. And we did that. But I can understand what these people are going through. But I do want to say this because I've been hearing a lot of people like, oh, we're going to throw this for the people in Los Angeles. And I just want to say this, family, and this is just me venting and my heart, because when I saw that, how LA is looking, it just reminded me of Katrina. We had nothing, man. We had to depend on, food from the National Guards, and it was devastating. But I do remember that people was throwing all these events saying that they was doing these events to help the Hurricane Katrina victims, right, family? And as we seeing people throw events and, oh, we having this big event charity for the victims of Hurricane Katrina, and we having this, and we having that, and family, it was so many people throwing concerts for us, victims of Hurricane Katrina. They was throwing them concerts as we was suffering, as we was crying, as we was devastated, as we didn't know where our next meal or bed to sleep on would come from. And so many people kept saying they throwing this and they throwing that and they having this and they having that for the victims of Katrina. They started that right when we was going through the disaster. They was doing it 10 years after Katrina. This is for the victims. This is for the victims. This is for the victims. As y'all see right here, family, it says, remembering how hip-hop responded for the victims of Hurricane Katrina. Rappers who stepped up after the deadly storm. Family, that was me. If I was doing YouTube in 2005, I could have showed y'all. I do have pictures one day. It's kind of hurtful. I do still have pictures. Like right now, my voice is getting weak because it's like a flashback. But I just want to share this with y'all because when I saw this in LA, we started hearing people saying what all they was going to do, concerts, do this for them people. But let me tell y'all, family, people did it for us at Hurricane Katrina. And we never seen a motherfucking dime. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. People had billions. They was making millions and billions off of these things. Not $1 or nobody knocked on our door and said, this is from the event that we held. Here go $1. Nothing. But you will see, it says, United We Stand. August 29th marks the 10 years. So they had this like 10 years after Katrina. They still out there doing this right here. And I can tell you, as a devastated victim family, lost a hell of a lot. Yes. Sitting on the ground looking at what was once mine. And you'll see it says, since Hurricane Katrina tore through the Gulf Coast and left New Orleans and part of Mississippi and Florida and Alabama, they left that out, submerged underwater. And what I say about Alabama, that's the Mobile part, okay? Mobile is the Gulf Coast, okay? And it says, during this trying times, which took thousands of lives and left even more without food, shelter, and many folks from the hip-hop community stood tall and together to help the victims of this catastrophic. I don't even want to read no more, family. Only thing I want to say, we never saw a dime of it. Never. It's Katrina victims right now that's still displaced. They are in New York now. Katrina will be a 20-year anniversary this coming up August, okay? August of 2025 will be the 20th year of Katrina. And here it is 20 years later, family. And nobody from all these events that was thrown so-called for us has ever knocked on my door or any other door and said, here go $1 from these events. Never. Nobody has knocked on our doors yet. And it will be 20 years, August 2025, since Hurricane Katrina devastated us badly. Yeah. Ain't gave us $1 from these so-called events. But I did notice, and a lot of Hurricane Katrina victims feel the same way. I just hope this doesn't happen to the LA victims. I really do. I hope this doesn't happen to them. But see, me and my crew, we looking at this here thing go down in LA. We're going to wait till they say it's safe for people to come in through the area or whatever. And we will pick our own families out to help. But none of this giving to this and giving to this and giving to this. What they doing over here. Hey, send us money. No, we good. Because we seen it for ourselves. We got no help from all of this so-called events that was thrown for the victims of Hurricane Katrina. I can speak. I was a victim. Yes. And I just hope it doesn't happen to LA. But I did notice that, after people was saying they was doing this for us, the victims of Hurricane Katrina, people started coming up being multi-millionaires and all that stuff. Right after Katrina, 2005, all the money, people were sending money from all over the place to these so-called events. We didn't get a damn thing out of it, but we did notice a lot of people was turning into multi-millionaires. I just hope it doesn't happen to LA. And let me say this. This reminded me of Shanquilla Robinson's case and Mahogany. But this young lady here in Ohio, Akron, Ohio, she was 19 years old, but she was able to escape. But you'll see there, it says that her friend lured her to a house, said that they was having a party to lure her to this house, put her in the basement, and then they started to attack her, doing all this old crazy stuff. Almost deleted her, but she, some type of way, got away. Okay? As you will see, it says 19-year-old woman escapes, had nothing on. Friends, supposed to have been her friends, took her by lying and saying, girl, we having a party over here, come over to our house. And she went over there, and they did that. And then they robbed her and, beat her, tortured, all that stuff. Okay? It was sad. It was sad. And y'all will see what it says, stripping and beating, all that stuff. Okay? And they caught one girl. She's 18 years old. The victim was 19. But these supposed to have been her friends. But they caught one of the girls who was 18 years old. Okay, that's her right there. And then they say she has a sister that's younger than her. They say the other 2 or 3 girls they looking for are not even old enough to drive. But they participated with this here girl to do the horrific actions that they did to that young lady. That's the chief talking about how it went down. He said the young lady looked it bad. But anyway, she ran out of the house with nothing on. And a good Samaritan got her. And as you see, it says the police said that 19-year-old woman was attacked, held in the basement, that stripped the clothes off, robbed her, did all that. These supposed to have been her friends, okay? And I don't know if those girls fell asleep or those girls went somewhere or whatever, but she was able to get away and run down the street without anything on, and a good Samaritan stopped to her rescue, and they got her help and called the police. But the police said it was bad. And the police officer also said it was very humiliating, very traumatizing, all that. But they said she looked bad, family. They said she looked bad. So family, please talk to our kids about these so-called friends, okay? Please do. You know, because they said she wasn't dressed. She ran down the street, didn't have nothing on, but they said she looked terrible. So if she hadn't have got away, she most likely would not even be here to tell what happened. Okay? But they got that one girl, and she's 18 years old. And they say that the other one involved was allegedly a sister to her, but they said she is underage and the other two are underage, but they say that they are so young, they're not even old enough to drive. So you get a driver's license at 16 years old. So that means they had to been younger than 16, probably 15, 14 doing this kind of stuff. Are you serious? What is going on with this luring a friend to a place and then making sure they have nothing on, and then you start these terrible acts? What is going on with that? So we'll follow this story more and see what's going on, you know, with it. But I just wanted to show y'all that, you know. And then you'll see the police said, you'll see right here, it says, Miller said the 19-year-old sustained like head injuries, face injuries, and things like that from the attack. You know, and it just said, thank God we have a community out here with people that care enough to step in and give some aid and help. That's what the chief was saying, because when she ran out that house, it was a guy, sounded like a black guy too, that saw her running through the neighborhood with nothing on, and then he stopped his car, took off some of his stuff, covered her up, and called 911. Okay? Unbelievable. So I will keep an eye on that story as well. Unbelievable. I just want to say, but family, please talk to your loved ones about these so-called friends or whatever. And that girl there, she got like $100,000 bond or something like that. But man, this is unbelievable. Talk to your family, your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, and all that stuff. Hell, y'all stay alert, you know, because people who say they friends ain't really friends nowadays, you know. So make sure you talk to your loved ones and make sure they don't fall in these traps, and tell them about these frenemies who they might think is they friends. No. Okay? But I want to say thank you to you all. Thank you to the chat. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you to all our subscribers, new subscribers, old subscribers. Thank you to the replay gang. Thank you to our moderators. Thank y'all so much. Also, thank y'all. These are the people who donated in the previous video. I just want to give a shout out and send some love to them as well for their donation. Thank you so much. Cooking with Frank, thank you so much for your donation. It's greatly appreciated. Gloria, thank you so much for your donation. It's greatly appreciated. Y'all generosity is greatly appreciated. Chris Allen, thank you so much for your donation. It's greatly appreciated. Kenneth Dawkins, thank you so much for your donation. It's greatly appreciated. Jim C., thank you for your generosity donation. Appreciate you all. Bobo the Idiot, thank you so much for your generosity and your donation. Greatly appreciated. Platinum Plus, thank you so much for your generosity as well. I just want to say to all these people who donated, your generosity is greatly appreciated. I just appreciate you all for your generosity, for your support. It's just so heartwarming to know that we have the support that we have, and I have the support that I have. And y'all check out Cooking with Frank as well. Awesome channel. Have great content. Sometimes he'll touch on a lot of other little topics and stuff like that. I'm talking about he have a great channel. Y'all go check him out. Thank y'all so much once again. Thank you to the chat. Thank you. Y'all be on fire always. So I just want to say, sending love, sending hugs to you all always. Gain knowledge to prevent blockage. And we all know what that means. The more you know, the harder it is for anybody to block you from your goals and success. Bye-bye.